"Junk doesn't win science fairs," Mr. Wexler said, lifting the boy's machine by one copper pipe like it was something he'd found in a gutter. Elijah didn't flinch. "It'll work," he said. "Give it a chance." The classroom went silent, 30 kids frozen between a laugh and a held breath. Nobody yet knew what this quiet 12-year-old had actually built, or why his hands weren't shaking. Nobody knew what was about to happen to Mr. Wexler's career either. Ask yourself, how many times has the smartest person in the room been the one everybody laughed at first? Because before the judges arrived, before the gymnasium went dead silent, this started 3 weeks earlier, in a kitchen with the power out. Elijah Carter lived with his mother in a 2-bedroom apartment where the lights had gone out twice that winter for bills paid late. On the counter sat a coffee can of copper wire, bicycle spokes, a bent umbrella frame, parts other people threw away. His grandfather, before he passed, used to sit him at that same counter and say, "Everything's a machine if you're patient enough to see it." Elijah believed him. Mr. Wexler, the science teacher, believed something else. He believed in the shine of store-bought kits, in the parents who wrote checks for pre-built volcano models, in the quiet rule that some students were college-bound and some were just filling seats. He kept that rule running smoothly for 11 years, and nobody above him ever asked how. The morning of the fair, Elijah set his device on the table. Bicycle spokes turning a bent wire coil, copper pipe funneling collected rainwater through a charcoal filter into a jar, a small bulb wired to the spinning wheel. Mr. Wexler walked the row of poster boards, complimenting a volcano, complimenting a solar oven, and stopped at Elijah's table. He picked the machine up by its frame. "This isn't science," he said, loud enough for the back row. "This is a science fair, not a junkyard." Somebody snickered. Somebody else didn't. He set it down harder than he needed to, and one of the copper coils bent flat under his palm. Elijah looked at the bent coil, then at him. "It'll still work," he said. "Give it a chance." The room went quiet in that specific way rooms go quiet when a kid says something an adult wasn't ready for. What Mr. Wexler didn't know was that Elijah had rebuilt this coil 4 times already, in the dark, by flashlight, because the apartment's power kept cutting out before he finished. What none of them knew was that in 6 days, a woman from the district's STEM office would be standing in that same gymnasium. His grandfather used to say it different ways depending on the week, but it always came back to the same idea. Real machines don't care what they're made of, only whether the current can move through them. Elijah had heard that sentence 100 times at a kitchen table that didn't have working lights half the winter. It was the only inheritance that mattered. 6 days later, the district finals filled the gym with folding chairs and judges' badges. Mr. Wexler introduced his top 3, none of them Elijah, and the boy was placed at the end of the row, near the exit, next to the janitor's closet. He didn't argue. He plugged in his rebuilt coil, checked his filter jar, and waited. When the judges reached his table last, almost as an afterthought, one of them, the woman from the STEM office, leaned down and asked what it did. Elijah spun the wheel by hand. The little bulb flickered, held, and stayed lit. Then he poured murky water through the charcoal chamber, and clear water dripped into the jar below it. "It filters and it generates," he said. "Off one build, no batteries." Then she called 2 more judges over. Then she asked him to do it again, slower, for all 3 of them to watch. Mr. Wexler's face changed first, a small twitch, then nothing, then the particular gray that spreads across someone who is doing math about consequences in real time. The same crowd that had chuckled 6 days earlier stood there watching clean water fall into a jar, drop by drop, while the boy who built it never raised his voice once. The story didn't stay in that gym. A parent's phone video of the moment, the coil turning, the water clearing, reached 40,000 views by that night and 800,000 by the weekend. The district reviewed 6 years of Mr. Wexler's grading logs and found a pattern too consistent to be coincidence. The same 3 or 4 names always placed. The same larger group of kids always ranked participation only, regardless of what they'd built. He was suspended within the month and did not return. The district launched a blind judging policy for every science fair going forward. No names, no teacher recommendations, project only. Elijah's water filter went on to the state fair, and the STEM office funded him a real workshop table, delivered to his apartment building's community room, so the next kid without a lab at home would have somewhere to build. 5 years later, Elijah stood in that same community room teaching 6 younger kids how to wind a coil by hand. One of them asked why he still used scrap parts when the workshop had everything now. He picked up a bent bicycle spoke and turned it once between his fingers. "Because somebody has to remember where it started," he said, and handed the kid a coil of copper wire to bend for himself. If this story moved you, hit like, share it with somebody who needed to hear it today, and subscribe for more because we're asking you, how many machines like this one never got the chance to run? Here's what really gets me though. It's not the fair, and it's not even Wexler. It's how calm that kid stayed while a grown man tried to make him small in front of everyone he knew. So tell me honestly, in the comments, has anyone ever underestimated you like that? And did you stay as calm as he did? Or did it take you years to get there?